Hello and welcome to BierTier, the German engineer. Today we are back with episode 8 of our newest Let's Play series, and this is of course oxygen not included. Today we need to find oil, we need to create petroleum, we need to create plastic, and we need to create steel. All of those things are absolutely necessary. So let's just jump right into it and see how that works out for us. And here we are. Yes, we are still pumping salt water, so let's take a quick look here. Yes, still 20 kilograms per second. Nothing has changed, but we are getting there. And right here we have 360 kilograms left. And if you take a look a little bit further down, here is our precious crude oil. That is what we are going to get. I may not be able to come down here anytime soon, but we can always wait until this is gone and then dig down the left side. And I believe that is exactly what I'm going to do, because we cannot wait until this here is empty, or we will still be here in cycle 280. And yeah, it is not an option. Over here in our industrial brick, yes, we need to expand this area right here. You're probably wondering, why would we expand it? It is still completely empty. Yes, but we will fill it up relatively quickly with all sorts of stuff. So up here on the top, we have salt water everywhere. We need to consolidate all that stuff. Yeah, probably over here on the left somewhere. How are we gonna do this? This here would be a good height right here. Yeah, we could make that work. Okay, so let's see. To make that happen, we will need a manual airlock, and the manual airlock needs to go roughly right there. Then of course a ladder right here. We're gonna dig this here out, and then right here we're gonna come too high all the way over to the right. Yes, we're not gonna connect it though, at least not yet, because first of all on the left side over here we're gonna dig all the way through there, and then we're gonna dig out a tiny little hole right here. And all this water here, we're just gonna dig up there, and we're gonna let it all flow over to the left and accumulate it right there for right now. As long as it's out of the way, I'm happy, and that is the plan. So let's get that done. Meanwhile, right here in the middle, I believe it may be time to get rid of all this mealwood right here, because I really don't know what we're gonna do with it. So we're just gonna rip it all out for right now. That is the first agenda. I don't want to see it anymore, so let's get rid of it. And then we're gonna slowly but steadily put in hydroponic farms and make bristle blossoms out of it. Because if there's one thing that we are not lacking anytime soon, it is water. That is for sure. How is there 30 kilograms of polluted water in here? I am not entirely sure, but we can just mop it up, so let's do that right away. Over here on the left, we're already making great progress. The left side here is basically dug out just from the top down, and this one here will be consolidated soon. Then we only have those 4 pockets left to dig out and bring it all the way down to here. Here I actually replaced the manual airlock with a mechanized airlock, and the reason is that I can put a switch here, and with the press of a button I can close that door and the water can flow through and the dupes will be stuck, but that is fine. So that is the general idea for this mechanized airlock right here, and as soon as all the water is gone and we have mopped it up, then we can actually get rid of it, because we don't need it anymore. So let's get that done and then see how we proceed. Down here on the bottom, all this water here is now mopped up and all that stuff is still laying around. So yeah, eventually we will have to take care of that as well. But first of all, let's take a look at our reservoir right here. My goodness, we have only 30 tiles left. So let's see. 30 tiles is not a lot, because alone this year is 36 tiles. Oh my god, we need so much more space. So what we will have to do is pretty simple. We will have to come all the way down to, let's see, we can go all the way to down here, maybe all the way over, and here all the way back up. And of course, to get this here built, we need to get rid of a couple of those tiles, and then of course also put in a ladder, preferably not like this though. We need to get rid of those here and then dig out the middle. And as soon as all this here is built, we're gonna close it off right there and tear out the floor. It's literally going to be this simple to expand this entire reservoir right here by another, let's see, what are those here? Those are 105 tiles plus another row right here of another 15 tiles. There we go. That's what that should look like. And now down here on the bottom, Deaf Pony is putting in the last airflow tile right here, and as soon as he's done, we're gonna tell these two here to be closed off as well. So get out of there, Pony, and then we will close it off, and then we will rip out the floor, and that it will be just in time. We are running out of space. My goodness, 20 kilograms a second is no joke, as a matter of fact. And here we have it. It is completely done. And now we say tear out the floor with a number 9 priority. And we will probably not be able to tear it out all at once, but we should definitely see the water flowing down in a nice stream slowly but steadily. And the more we tear out, the faster it will go. And then we will need to put in some ladders as well, because without ladders, we won't be able to reach all of those tiles that are here in the middle. And I definitely want to get rid of all of them. And right here, the dupes are falling, and the last two pieces are being torn out, so we can go deconstruct and get rid of those two pieces of ladder that I plopped in here. And as soon as those are gone, this here is done, and we can see we have ample amount of space once again. Now we have 135 tiles, and I hope that will now be enough. Here on the top, we dug all the way through, and Chemster is now stuck in here. It just happened to be Chemster, of course. Who else? He did not really have a choice. He was just the last dupe up here, so it is what it is. So, Chemster, we need to make sure that we dig into here. I don't think you can dig this stuff here out. Can you? Can you dig Abyssalite? I'm not entirely sure if you can or not. There's only one way to find out. We will definitely give you the job, though. Where are you going? What are you doing up here? Can you not dig bleachstone? You should be able to dig that, right? What are you doing, Chemster? Come on, we need you to dig this stuff here out, because otherwise we will not get our salt water over there. You literally cannot dig bleachstone, can you? That is crazy. Well, apparently you are not the best dupe to be stuck over here, are you now? That is, of course, a slight problem, but that is okay. We just have you dig out whatever we can have you dig out, and we will try to get as much water over as we can, and you can then mop up the rest, and then we're gonna send Privak over here maybe to dig out the rest. Yeah, we cannot get anywhere else. Let's take a look into skills. Where are you, Chemster? Do you have a skill available? Yes, we can give you hard digging. Your morale is high enough, so we will do that, so we can get this here done. That was certainly not planned for you, but now you got the skill, and now you will have to go ahead and actually dig all this stuff out, if you like it or not. All right, Chemster, let's do it. Up here on the top, now I was able to create another entrance for our dupes. That is perfect. Now all the dupes can come back in without getting any salt water into this area down here. And they can't just keep on draining, and everything that doesn't drain, once again, we are going to mop up, and we are already starting the mopping process. Unfortunately, this here, of course, we cannot reach, but that's fine. One piece of ladder will get the job done. And then mopping commands everywhere. There we go. And as soon as all this here is drained, we're gonna mop this here up as well. And this area here will be clear. Couple more poke shells to kill. Let's get rid of them. We don't need them. There are plenty on this map for a later poke shell farm. But for right now, that is not of our concern. That is for sure. And another tiny little bit later, all this here is now properly mopped up as that should be. And over here is a bottle emptier, so we can slowly but steadily get rid of all the salt water and plop it over here. But now we can actually start expanding our brick over here. So let's do precisely that. First of all, of course, all this here needs to go. We don't need it anymore. And then we're gonna grab our tile, and we're just gonna leave a 4x space and come up. That is what we do best, and that's how we're gonna keep on good doing it. So let's plop in a few more floors, always 4 high. Can't have enough of them, rather too many than not enough. There's nothing else we're gonna do with this space here, so we're just gonna keep on going up. There we go. That should be plenty of work for the dupes for right now, and then we will go from there. Our stress level for Siltoid is getting slightly out of hand. He's at 95% and increasing, so we are going to plop him down a massage table. That's simple. Just temporarily, it will be fine. Let's hook it up. Let's get it built right away, please, before he reaches 100%. And then we're gonna slap him on this massage table here, and we're gonna leave him there for a good amount of time. That is the general idea, and that should be fine. The next highest one is Gemstone at 26. I'm not entirely sure why Siltoid is that particularly stressed, but we definitely can fix that really quickly. While everything else is being built on the top, we are gonna go down low, as I said earlier, and we literally just gonna dig all the way down here with a ladder so we can actually reach this area right here, and then we're gonna keep on digging down here and dig up this here, and we will see what else we will find down here. I see lead, I see igneous rock, but so far I don't see anything crazy. This area here is now completed, which is very good. We just have a bunch of stuff to pick up slowly but steadily with a very low priority. Just when the dupes have nothing else to do, they can come over here, pick something up and bring it out. The only thing that I don't like, well, two things actually, is down here we currently have still this liquid lock, which we will still need, but the dupes have to go through it every single time. And of course they're getting the sopping wet debuff, and we can see it down here. Stress plus 20% a cycle, and now stress is still getting out of hand. And at the same time, up here on the top, I left it open so the dupes can get in and out on the top as well, which is something else that I don't want to have in the future. So what can we do about it? Well, it is pretty simple. Currently we have no way to get into here except right there. So what I could do is very, very simple, and that is exactly what I'm going to do as a matter of fact. Right over here, right where this here is. Currently, this here is up 1 too high though. We're gonna go 1 lower right here. We are going to come through, actually 2 lower. How about that? Yeah, right here, I'm just going to put in a floor, a relatively long floor, and I'm going to tear all of this stuff here out. We won't need it anymore. There we go, just like this. All this needs to go, and then we're gonna build a floor here, and we're gonna put in a bunch of Atmo Suits. Yes, that's what it is going to come down to. And right here we have it. We have a total of 8 Atmo Suit docks in here, so 8 dupes can go in at one time as soon as we have oxygen in, which is of course not optimal right now because it is supplied by those 2 pumps right here. Yeah, it could definitely be better than that, but for right now that's all we've got. We just need to build a SPOM very soon. May happen sooner than you think. And up here I put in another large power transformer whose sole purpose is to supply this thing here with power. That is what's needed right now because all of them are on basically at the same time whenever the oxygen comes in, but for right now that will suffice, and we're gonna upgrade it as soon as we can. Down here on the bottom, we have found oil, and we have found oil actually a couple of cycles ago, and I dug all of this here out. There was another little facility right here, which was just a bunch of automation wires and stuff. I got rid of all of it. We got a data bank out of it, and we also got some nutrient bars out of it, but that is it. All the way over here, we have another neural vaccinator, which we're gonna dig up here very shortly as well, and up here on the top, the dupes are finishing up with the gold, and that will be it then. It's gonna be this simple. So, what are we going to do next? We of course gotta grab us a pitcher pump right away, and we're gonna just plop it right here somewhere. That will be fine, so we have it when we need it. But we will also need to get steel in, and that is going to be a little bit more tricky to say the least. For that we will need a different power wire, a conductive wire, and we have now tons and tons of lead, and that is exactly what we're going to use. Problem is that the melt temperature of lead is 330 degrees, so it's relatively low, but for what we are doing it will be sufficient. So first of all this wire right here, we are going to replace it with conductive wire, and if we're gonna make it out of lead, it's not gonna get that hot down here that it's gonna cause any problems, so it should be just fine all the way up here, all the way across. Yes, it's going to be a lot of resources that we are quote-unquote wasting for this, but we may as well do it right away, and every single piece that is hooked up to it will have to be made out of conductive wire, or whatever that is not hooked up will be of course overloading right away. So right here we also have to come down, and over here and over there, and then once we have this here done, we're gonna come all the way down to the ground, and right around here we're gonna stop, and then we will plop in a metal refinery. It's gonna be very temporary, and we're just gonna dump the heat down here, but for what we need it will be enough. All we need is a couple aqua tuners, and then we can actually build a proper setup with it. And down here on the bottom, the metal refinery is now being built. We're just going to make it out of granite, and all this here is extremely temporary. As I said before, it's literally this simple. We will need 2 more things for that though. First of all, we will need lime, and I don't think we have any. So let's see, we have poke shell molds, we have fossil, we have all sorts of stuff. We have literally 8.1 tons worth of fossil. My goodness, that is a lot. But first of all, of course, all the poke shell molds, we're gonna make them forever into lime. That is the #1 priority. And also our eggshells, we're also going to make those to lime. So let's get this done. And as soon as we have lime, we're going to grab the last ingredient. And the last ingredient will be made down here in the kiln. It'll be refined carbon, and refined carbon is made out of coal. We should be able to see it right now. Yes, right here, refined carbon is made out of coal, and we have literally 80 tons of coal, so that is the smallest of our issues. We're gonna make 10 of them, and that will be fine. Down here we have a liquid pump, and the liquid pump we are also going to hook up to our power wire, just like this here, and of course also our metal refinery. The metal refinery has some piping on it with some radiant liquid pipes down here on the bottom. We need a couple more pieces, one right here and one right there, so we can dump the heat into our crude oil. It's going to be literally this simple. As soon as this here is done, we're just gonna build a little bit of a pipe that will be hooked up to this radiant liquid pipe right here, and then we're gonna fill up our metal refinery with crude oil, and then we're just going to make us enough steel for what we need right now, and then we're gonna tear this entire system back out. Just that simple and straightforward. And now down here, our metal refinery has 800 kilograms of crude oil in it. That is perfect. That's what that should look like. And now let's take a look. If we go into utilities, we can find a thermo aqua tuner, and a thermo aqua tuner needs 1,200 kilograms to be built. And I want to have enough so I can build 2 just to be safe. That should be fine. So we need 2,400. So we need to make 24 pieces of steel. And that is exactly what we are going to do. So let's get this here done with a number 9 priority. And again, we're gonna dump all the heat just into the crude oil because we have so much down here, it's barely going to make a dent into it. Right here, we are facing a little problem, and this little problem is growing quite drastically. Yes, let's take a look. We have barely any oxygen left right here because these 2 gas pumps here are just constantly running and still trying desperately to fill up those Atmo Suit docks right here, and also down here on the bottom. They need to constantly supply them because we use them so much. So that this is not a permanent solution was clear from the very beginning, but now we actually have to do something. I really wanted to go for this brick here next, but apparently a SPOM is on the agenda. We won't have a choice, it is what it is. Currently we have more than enough water so we can just feed it out of our normal reservoir over here, but eventually probably I'm going to feed it with this saltwater geyser right here, especially since it is dormant. I already dug into here because here we have a bunch of algae, and we were also running pretty low on algae. When we take a look right here, we are, our oxygen diffuser, our storage bins for algae are pretty freaking low, and that is of course suboptimal. By the way, I still have not done anything with those farm tiles here because we have so much food, it's complete overkill. When we take a look here, we still have 90,000 kilocalories in pickled meals. Yeah, before those run out, we're not gonna do anything, that is for sure, and we're gonna save us a bunch of water in the meantime, because other than that, the food will just rot, and that is of course not what we want. So, what are we going to do here? We should be able to just use a blueprint. Yes, right here we have a SPOM blueprint, and we will have to heavily modify the thing, but for right now it should probably work, and we should even be able to put it into this area down here right away. That should probably make things a hell of a lot easier. So before we do anything, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to tear out all these letters that I put in just so we can actually dig all this stuff here out, and then we will go from there. And right over here, after another cycle of full force digging, I just realized that we have right down here, we have a iron volcano. That is right, a iron volcano is right here. So we need to leave a little bit more space and need to be careful. So we're gonna take that SPOM that we just had, not new blueprint, but use blueprint, and we're just gonna plop it right here. That should be perfectly fine, theoretically at least. So let's plop it into here, and of course we have a bunch of stuff that is missing, but that is okay. We just need to sort it out one by one. First of all, this ladder right here, we need to expand it, and also this fire pole so we can actually reach all this stuff here. Then, I don't even know what I did here exactly. In our F2 overlay, okay, the power comes from right here. That at least makes sense. Not entirely sure why this here is cut off, but it definitely needs to come over to here. And I'm also not entirely sure why there's an extra piece. So that is okay. What we're also lacking in automation is apparently in power A, where we add a smart battery. Smart battery built out of iron should be okay. And we're just going to plop it right here. That was also missing from the blueprint for who knows exactly what reason, but we're gonna plop it in and that should be fine. Other than that, what do we have here? Igneous rock. Here we have copper. Yes, we don't have any copper. That is fine. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to say buildings cancel, and I'm canceling these two, and I'm canceling these two right here. First of all, we will build everything that we can build, one step after the next, and then we will see what is left over, what we can't build, and replace it with materials that we have. So let's get started right here. Does the priority right? No, of course it is not. So let's give it all a number 9 priority so it actually gets done, and let's go. While we are still building our SPOM, we have good news up here. Finally, all this water here is pumped out so we can actually mop the rest up, and then we can get rid of this pump right here and everything else that goes along with it. So we're also going to give these commands, but just with a number 5 priority. That is definitely not on the priority list on the top. And then also in our F6 overlay, yeah, everything here can go. We don't need any of it anymore. There we go. All of it needs to go. So right down here, we are looking a hell of a lot better. Everything that can be built is now built. And right here, I'm putting in a manual generator so we can actually get it started. But before we do anything else, everything that we have to cancel, we will cancel. And we will see what we are now lacking to make it work. That should be very easy and straightforward. And of course, everything that needs to be picked up will be picked up as well in here. So let's take a look in our F2 overlay. Yes, that is of course the first thing. We have no power. That is problematic, to say the least. First of all, we don't need this wire right here. We can use a normal wire to save a little bit on our precious metal. So we're going to do exactly that. We're just going to make it out of gold just because we have so much gold that we don't know what to do with it. So we're going to come straight over to here, into there, and up to here. Here we're going to come down and into there. And then we're going to come straight over to here, cancel, or better to say deconstruct those two here as well, and get back our precious iron. There we go. And as soon as we have it, we're going to hook it up. In our F6 overlay, here we have our pipe. So right now, what we want to do here is with a radiant liquid pipe, preferably the one with the highest thermal conductivity. Iron has 110. Yes, iron it is. We're going to come with an iron pipe all the way through here, all the way through there, and then it's just straight into there. It's going to be that simple, and it's going to be that straightforward. That is here just to cool down our oxygen a little bit. We probably won't need it, but we may as well put it in case we have some excess oxygen that we can vent somewhere else. Then what else do we have on the list? In our F7 overlay, we are looking actually pretty decent. Here we have a pipe coming out. So yes, we can just take in ventilation a gas vent and plop it at the end, and another gas vent up here. There we go. That we need to put in just so we can empty out our system, because currently we have chlorine and oxygen and all sorts of stuff in here that we definitely don't want. So we first of all need to empty it out, and as soon as it's empty, then we can go from there. And then in automation, let's take a look. We will also need a Atmo sensor. We're going to make it out of iron, and we're going to plop it right up here as usual. And then with an automation wire, we're going to come all the way into here. That should be fine. Everything else seems to be good. Right here, we need one hooked up. That is also okay. And then usually for good measure, what I'd like to do is put one more sensor right here, or better to say not a sensor, but a switch where you add the signal switch right there. And for that, we will need a few pieces of ladder. There we go. We should now be able to reach everything and build everything. So dupes, get it done. Down here on the bottom, our metal refinery is done with 2,400 kilograms, and it is of course overheating, and it has been overheating for a good while. So that is fine, because all we have to do now is to tear it back out. So all of it, we don't need any of it anymore. We're going to get rid of literally everything that we have here. Everything in our F6 overlay, we don't need it anymore. There we go. We will leave the pump for right now, but we also don't need the power wire. We need none of this stuff. So we're going to tear it all out. While I was looking at the metal refinery, I just realized we are also finally done with our salt water, and look at this. We barely made it. So my guess down here to put this in here properly, yeah, that paid off. It was just the right amount. My goodness, I did not measure it or anything. That was a pure guess, and I did not pay attention to it at all up until this very moment. It was pure luck that it was not overflowing, and it would have become basically an endless loop. We would have just overflown it down to our pumps and back up and around and around. Thankfully, that did not happen. So that is very good, and I'm very happy about it, as you can tell potentially. And we can tear all of this stuff here out as well. None of it is needed anymore. Thank goodness. All right, I'm going to tear it out all the way up to, yeah, all of it. I don't want any of it anymore. For right now, we just need to get rid of it, and that should be the end of it. Okay, the SPOM is officially finished. All we need now is a dupe in the manual generator to actually kick it off. So let's wait for a dupe to show up, and then, oh, is there already a dupe? Oh yeah, here's Deaf Pony. Deaf Pony is here. So I'm going to set this one here to below. I just want to pump everything out. Yes, it's not going to be running all the time because it's needing too much power and energy, but let's take a look. Our hydrogen is accumulating. We can actually set it to above now, above 500 grams. There we go. And as soon as this here is reached for the first time, we should be able to hook up our gas pipe to our hydrogen generator. And there it is. It just turned on in our F7 overlay. We should now see, yes, we have hydrogen coming. So what we're going to do is, now that we know for a fact it's pure hydrogen, we're going to plop this here in, and then with our snipping tool, we snip this connection here off. There we go. Now hydrogen is being pumped over. That is perfect. And now our smart battery here, we're going to say a high threshold is going to be 90% and a low threshold is going to be 10%. That should be perfectly fine. And at this point, we can go ahead and also tear out this piece right here. There we go. And yes, that can now go. We don't need any of this here anymore. As a matter of fact, in all of this here can go. And currently the oxygen is just coming out straight here. And what is the temperature of the oxygen? It's a nice 25 degrees because it is being cooled down by our water, and the water is being fed into our hydrogen, and the hydrogen is coming out at 40 degrees, which literally does not matter. Couldn't matter much less. So this is now perfect. Now we actually have a sustainable oxygen supply, and we can then hook it up to this pipe over here, and the excess is what we're going to vent out. That is next on the agenda, and that's going to be the last thing that we are doing for today. So let's do exactly that. In our F7 overlay, we just need to hook it up to this pipe right here. That is basically all that needs to happen. So we're gonna come along here. We actually don't need to make it insulated, do we? No, there's absolutely no point in doing that. So this gas vent here has to go, and then we're gonna grab us a normal gas pipe, and right here we replace all of it, and we literally just gonna come straight over. Is that what we're gonna do? Yeah, why wouldn't we? Yeah, that's perfectly fine. And we're just gonna hook it up right there. That is what needs to happen. And then we can tear out this entire system and save even more power. And then eventually we also will have to store the excess hydrogen, because you can already see it building up, and I don't know where I'm gonna go with it. So this insulated pipe is going up and to the left, so we can go in whatever direction we want. There it is. This here is now gone. We're gonna come with our oxygen all the way over to the left. And now we can say, or better to say, first of all, let's get rid of the power because we don't need it anymore. We're gonna snip it off. Now the system here is powerless, and it is entirely taken care of by our gas pipe right here. Only problem is exactly what's happening right now. It is backing up. So if it is backing up, we need to do something about it. And we're going to do something very similar like right here. And where are we going to do this? Probably right here, I would say. Yeah, that's probably the smartest thing to do. We are going to come with a insulated gas, no, not an insulated gas, a gas bridge. There we go. And we're just going to plop the gas bridge right here. And then what we're going to do is right here, we're going to come up and put in a gas vent. So if whatever is on the left here is full as it is right now, it will go to the gas vent. If it is not full, it will go through the gas bridge and it will fill up this pipe. And that is exactly what that should look like. And at the same time, of course, now we can give the deconstruct contract to the dupes and we deconstruct all of this stuff here. We won't need any of it anymore anytime soon. Perfect. That is definitely a nice improvement to our base as we stand right now. A nice byproduct of our chlorine going up so high is right here in our storage bin. We can see the slime has been completely cleaned. There are no more germs on it. And now we can already see how quickly this gas vent here is doing its job. Yes, the chlorine is already going down drastically because the pressure increases in our base right here. Slowly but steadily. It's still a little bit dark, but it will be just as bright as it is up here very, very soon. That is literally going to take no time. So that is great. And our first SPOM is here and running. Of course, later on, we will need to build the bigger one, the full Rodriguez, so we can actually do with it whatever we want. And we have more than enough hydrogen, so we can power several hydrogen generators. So that is definitely also going to happen. It's just a question of time when, because we have so much saltwater geysers and other water geysers around here. I believe, didn't we find another water geyser somewhere? I can't remember. There's so much stuff around. I believe it's right here, isn't it? Let's see. Yes, that is a water geyser. Yeah, we have so much water around it, we don't know what to do with it. Up here, we also have now accumulated a nice amount of water. Let's take a quick look here all the way up. Those are 63 tiles full of water. So 63 tons are accumulated in here right now. And slowly but steadily, it's going to go up even more. Well, not currently because it is dormant. But as soon as the dormancy is over, and as soon as that happens, we can just put in one airflow tile somewhere, and all of this chlorine and other stuff will leak out. That's going to be good as well. Up here on the top, we have our natural gas geyser, and that is on the agenda for the next episode. We need to get in here, we need to build a pump, and we need to capture it. And yes, I could, in theory, come into base and slap this entire area here full with gas reservoirs. But I don't think that looks very nice, and I don't think that makes a hell of a lot of sense. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a quick infinite storage. Now that we have crude oil, it's absolutely feasible, and that is going to be the plan. Very easy and straightforward. That is what's going to happen. Over here, our drastically expanded industrial brick is looking really, really good, and we still power the entire base with a total of 5 coal generators. Can you believe it? Yeah, if you believe it or not, it is happening, and they're turning on as I'm speaking about them, like they heard me. Isn't that nice? But we have expanded it drastically. We can put a lot of stuff into here, and right here on the top, this here is where our steam room is gonna go. We're gonna plop a nice liquid aqua tuna in here, and of course fill it up with water. And then right above here, we're gonna have steam turbines. That is going to be the general idea. Right below it, the metal refineries are going to live right here, and of course the kilns as well. And then other means of power generation are going to go all the way down here. We have plenty of space. We can generate so much power, we literally won't know what to do with it. And we are also making wonderful progress on it. And down here on the bottom, we could now finally dig straight through. Yes, finally, we got rid of all the salt water, so we need to find something to take care of that as well. But we do have 2 volcanoes right here, aluminum volcano, and what was this here? Was it copper? I literally can't remember what it was. Was it iron? It was cobalt. Okay, well, so we have a cobalt volcano and an aluminum volcano that close together. Maybe, just maybe, we can do something with that to actually boil all of this salt water here. Yeah, so much salt water. How much is it actually? I am curious. It is 405 tons worth of salt water that we have shifted into this area. My God, this is ridiculous. And there is more and more and more around here. I don't even know how much further it goes, but what do we have here? I just noticed this here for the first time. What are you? You're a, well, carbon dioxide vent. How unexciting, but it is what it is. But that is all I have for you today. So if you enjoy the content, please subscribe to the channel, leave a like on the video and comment down below. You know it, I am always more than happy to hear from you. And with that, I say thank you and peace.